One of the biggest things that kills entrepreneurs, that kills making money, earning money, becoming a millionaire or multimillionaire or hectomillionaire. What's a hectomillionaire? Becoming wealthy, progressing in your life, progressing in your business, advancing, changing your lifestyle. Most people do this one thing, and this one thing is fucking you up, which is called lip service. Lip service. Are you one of those lip service experts who's always talking about what you're gonna do, how things are gonna change, and yet you don't take any action, you don't back it up? It's all an idea. You just talk. Somebody asked me a question the other day, Mindy, is it okay to share your goal with other people? And I said, very simply, only if these other people are going to encourage you, and only if you're going to take action on that. Are you one of those people that's really into lip service, talk, no action? Do you know people like that who are always talking about doing great things, and yet they never take action on their spoken word? Spoken word's very powerful if you back it up. A lot of people say, be careful what you speak, because it turns into something, but not necessarily. Be careful of the words that come out of your mouth, because they have power. They do have power only if you have conviction. I want you to today see where you're going wrong. Are you someone who talks about buying that dream home, growing your business, hitting those 50K months, 20K months, 100K months, and yet you're not taking any action towards that? It's just an idea. You say this to make yourself feel better, like I'm doing something, I'm progressing, just to maybe impress and inspire the people around you. Maybe it's your wife, your husband, your children, your parents. Like, you're talking, you know what? I'm going to be a millionaire. You know what? I'm going to be earning $20,000 a month. I'm going to buy the Lamborghini. I'm going to buy the yacht. I'm going to buy the dream home, the holiday home. I'm going to retire you, mum. I'm going to retire you, dad. You know, you're not going to have to work, and yet you tell your family these things, and guess what? You're letting them down. Simple. You're letting them down. If you told your family you're going to do something, you got children, your wife, your partner, and you're not taking any action towards what you've promised them, then, my friend, you should be ashamed of yourself, right? Listen, I'm here to be raw. Tell it as it is. How many promises have you made to your family that you're going to do X, Y, and Z? Life is going to change. And yet when that part comes, you take no action. You take no action. You don't do anything that's going to get you closer. So today is a day you can realize, hey, listen, Mindy's right. I haven't been taking any action. I haven't been self-accountable. I haven't been doing the things I said I'm going to do. I haven't been true to my words, true to my dreams, true to my commitments. Great word, commitment. You're either committed to making excuses, or you're committed to having results, right? Making things happen. Be a rainmaker. Anyone who's ever achieved anything out there, right? They've taken aggressive action. Now, people don't like that word aggressive. They see it as a negative term, but it really isn't. You want to get to those millions, you've got to take aggressive action, right? I'm not saying just like fucking hammer things, but you've got to be aggressive with your own mindset, with your own mentality. Lip service doesn't get you far. It just advertises your ignorance because you're not doing anything. I'm sure that you know people like that. I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to start my first business, I'm going to quit this job, I'm going to get a promotion, I've had enough of this, and 5 years later they're still there. Maybe you're in a job right now and you've been thinking about starting a business. Maybe you have a side hustle, and your side hustle, you want to turn that into your full-time business, but you haven't given it enough lifeline, you haven't given it enough energy, attention, focus, determination, and your work ethic hasn't been there because you don't believe it can happen. The only reason why you won't do something, really, go all in, is because you don't really believe that you can actually achieve that. Think about this. Because if you believe that you can do that, you would be there. How many people do you know that have a side hustle, a side job, or are so good at what they do, they work for someone else and they've been thinking about going out on their own and doing that same thing, but they won't take action? Why? Because of that lack of belief. It all comes down to belief. Belief. Lip service doesn't get you anywhere. That's just like moving your lips. But what really happens is when you back that up with action, if you're not going to do something, don't even talk about it. Because guess what? Because people start seeing you as an unconscious liar. They won't say that you're a liar, that you're a bad person. Not in that aspect, but they'll start to see, you know what, you're always talking about shit. I used to be one of them people. Well, no, I wouldn't say I was one of them people, because I used to take action, so I'm being a bit tough on myself. I'd always take action, right? And sometimes the action would be wrong, but you got to take action. You got to take action. Where have you been providing just talk? You're all talk, no action. Ever had that? You're all talk, no action. You're all mouth, no action. Actions speak louder than words. And that is so true. Your actions speak louder than words because you're actually acting, you're actually progressing, you're actually moving forward. Sometimes we have people that want to come into the coaching. This is crazy. They've been thinking about applying to work with us in the inner circle. And they've tried to fill out the application 6-7 times. And they don't press send. And sometimes this happens. Sometimes they get the courage. They had enough. They get so pissed off. Something happens in their life where they just press send and they submit their application. And sometimes what happens is they won't show up to the call. They'll cancel the call because they're so afraid of change because of how they're conditioned. And they say they want something bad enough, but they won't face the fear. The fear is stopping them, holding them back. Well, sometimes what happens, this is a crazy one. They'll come in, they've got to the point where they've had the courage, they've pressed send, I want to do this. And then they say, you know what, what's your cancellation policy? Before they've even started. And it happens, right? I'm sharing this with you. Why? Because that person hasn't had the courage to do what it takes to get to that goal. They quit before they even start. This is why they said the 1% club, because only 1% of people are actually willing to do what the other 99% are not willing to do. Maybe we should send this podcast to someone who's been thinking about this, all right? That's been on our email list and hasn't taken action. You're just involved in lip service. So let's send this out to people, right? That's applied for a coaching call with us and they haven't done it. Why? Because all you're doing is lip service. You don't have any courage. You haven't backed it up with action. Without that, you won't get to those next steps. You are where you are because of how you're conditioned, how you're programmed. Now you want to go somewhere different. You've got to change. You've got to make some changes at that foundational level. Well, otherwise, guess what? The temperature of your life is going to remain the same. You want all those things that people have. Some people are into cars, some people are into homes, some people are into lifestyles. Everybody's different. But you can't have all of that unless you're willing to change. Now, is that change, staying there, is going to cost you? It's not the cost of doing it. It's the cost of not doing it that counts. So I want you to think about this now, right? So I'm recording this podcast. It's just May, right? Just turned May. What do you want to achieve? I'm not going to say by the end of the year because that's too long. What do you want to achieve in the next 7 days? I want you to set an intention, right? Let's take some freaking action. What do you want to achieve in the next 7 days that you've been thinking about? And I'm not saying like achieving your first $1 million month, right? I'm thinking about what is it that you want to achieve that you've been talking about for so long that you haven't done? What action have you been procrastinating on that you haven't taken? So make a list of that. Make a little note, one thing that you're going to do in the next 7 days, right? Because I want you to learn, apply, and get results from this podcast. Otherwise, it's just entertainment, right? I don't want you to be here just to be entertained or just to get some good concepts. I want you to actually take some actions on this free advice that I'm giving you. It's so easy. Now, there'll be people on this podcast listening and they'll take on board what I've said and they'll actually apply it, right? And those people start to win. Now, that could be you. If you just take one concept from each podcast and you actually apply it. This is why my podcast is short, sweet, and simple. I don't like to overcomplicate things. I don't like to have 45-minute podcasts. And there's nothing wrong with them, by the way, right? There's some podcasts out there that are an hour and 45 minutes. And there's plenty of value in them. But I want to give you not only just some value, I want to give you some accountability. I want to give some action steps that you can start taking now. I want you to have that awareness, that shift in your energy, shift in your actions, shift in your focus, and actually fucking do something. So just pick one thing. And I promise you can have more out this one podcast, and you can have like listening to 10 other podcasts, right? Who just give you philosophies and give you examples and stuff and get you thinking differently. Oh, that's a good idea. There's nothing wrong with them. I'm not slating anybody's podcast, but what I'm saying is I want to be different because I actually want to give you steps that you can actually apply and implement, right? Go away. I don't want to give you too much to think about. That's why I want to keep it so simple. Like, talk is fucking cheap. Talk is cheap as chips. Everybody out there's talking. Is those action makers are the ones who change the world. In your industry right now, I take it that you're a business owner, all right? Because most of my clients are business owners. Most of the people that are crushing it in your industry are freaking action takers, right? They take action. You don't get to those levels without taking action, with just talking. You back it up with action, with conviction. Back it up. Have conviction. Have enough respect for yourself that you actually go out and take action on what you said you're going to do. Don't lie to yourself, because guess what? Your subconscious mind is constantly listening to you, is constantly aware. It's recording the information that you're saying. You're telling yourself that you're going to do something. You verbalize it. And when you don't do it, your subconscious says, well, you're nothing but a fucking liar. You said this 6 months ago you're going to do it and you haven't done it. So you got a relationship with your subconscious mind, right? Now you got to have your subconscious mind believing that whatever you say you're going to do, you're going to do. Have you ever had people like that? When they say they're going to do something, they do it. And on the other hand, you have people that talk and never do anything. And all it is talk. You go to a party, you go to a wedding, and someone's telling you about how they're starting up this business. And next time you meet them 6 months later, they still haven't started it up. They're doing something else. Go all in on that one thing, okay? So write this down. Talk is cheap, right? So don't be a fucking pussy. Make it happen. Whatever it is that you want to do, back yourself up. This is one thing that people don't do, is back themselves up. Bet on themselves. Imagine if you're in a boxing ring, okay? There's two people fighting each other, right? Now, listen, one person's going to get seriously hurt if they don't show up, if they don't train, if they don't fucking come to fight. And businesses like this, you've got to come to fight. You've got to come to win. You've got to be raring to go out that corner. The first bell goes, you've got to be roaring to go and not being afraid, not being shackled. I want you to today start to change, start to shift something, start to shift your thinking, your acting, your behaving, start embodying that person. Next time you say something to someone that you're going to do something, you'll just consciously be aware of what you're telling yourself. I already know I'm not going to do this. Ever had that situation? You say you're going to do this, and as you're saying it, or even before you say it, you already know that you ain't going to do it. You ain't going to follow through. Great example. I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to get a six pack. I'm going to get ripped. You haven't done the things that it's going to take to do that. Right? I'm going to be successful. I'm going to get that Lamborghini. I'm going to get that fucking Ferrari or jet. I'm going to do this. I want to buy this. I want to buy that. I'm going to take my family on holiday. First class, business class. We're all going to be in the front of the plane. And yet you say that, but you're not taking the actions that you need in order for you to be in the front of the plane. Think about this. The people that sit in the front of the plane versus the people that sit in the back of the plane, they're two different people. Now, not everybody wants to travel in the front of the plane. I get that. But I guarantee you this. 80% of the people in the back of the plane want to be in the front of the plane. They'll never admit it. They're wondering, what the fuck are them people doing? They look at them, I look at them in their first class, business class flights. There's a difference. Next time you go onto a plane, ask yourself, what do these people actually do? Right? It's not just lip service. They actually make things happen. Maybe it's just that one person out of the family of 5 who makes shit happen and the rest are passengers, but there's one person in the family that doesn't just have lip service. They actually have actions. They have accountability. I want you to start thinking. I want you to start observing like wealthy people's behavior, successful people. Like when they say something, do you think they really follow through with that? Do they do it or do they not? It's a massive divide. And look at the other people that are not making anything happen. They want to make something happen, but they're not making it happen. Is it too much of that? Not enough of fucking action? Because without action, you can't really have much. You got to be an aggressive action taker. If you're not the action taker, shall I give you a little shortcut? Find people around you that can take the action for you. Simple, right? So that's a great thing, right? But initially, you still got to be someone who can take action, but you don't always have to take action yourself. That's the other little shortcut that someone won't tell you. Like if you don't like making sales calls, right? You fucking hate it. You can find someone else to do that for you so they can take the action. But at the same time, you still got to be the one still taking action around finding these people, around managing them. Andrew Carnegie said that he knew nothing about the making of steel. He was like Napoleon Hill's mentor, right? He was the richest man in the world at one point. And he said, I know nothing about the making of steel. All I know is organizing knowledge. So he organized knowledge. He found the people, but he still took action. He didn't just do lip service, right? Even him, he didn't do lip service. He said he's going to do this, but then he found the people around him. So he still took action. But what I'm saying is you can have other people taking the action for you, especially areas that you're weak in. So what areas do you have weakness in? Maybe you don't know how to, let's just say that you're running a business, you're running a newsletter, you don't even have a newsletter, you don't know where to start. So you say, I'm going to start a newsletter, we're going to put a newsletter out, we're going to do some content every week, and you haven't done it. Okay, why haven't you done it? Probably because you've been giving it like lip service, you haven't taken action, you haven't even tried to do it yourself, right? At least have a go at doing it yourself. You can't find someone, you can't do it yourself, find someone else. It's so simple. There's plenty of talent out there, but before you ask anybody to do anything, you've got to be willing to do it yourself. Really important lesson. So remember, talk is cheap. Don't fuck around. Make shit happen.